Hey there, XRP family. Welcome back to the XRP Insider channel. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here with me today. No matter where you are in this amazing world of ours, I hope you're having an incredible day because we've got some exciting XRP developments to dive into together. Let's jump right into it, shall we? Looking at our trusty one-day chart here, XRP is sitting pretty at $2.21. Now, here's what's got everyone buzzing. We slipped back into the green earlier today, and suddenly everyone's shouting, "We're so back! This is it!" But hold on a second, friends. I want to pump the brakes just a little bit here. While I love the enthusiasm, I think it's still too early to declare victory and say the bottom is officially in. Here's what I'm watching for. If we start climbing above $2.30, $2.40, and especially $2.50 over the next few days, then I'll be ready to tell you we are absolutely back in business. Right now, though, we're finally seeing that upward movement we've all been waiting for, and that's definitely worth celebrating. We're up a solid 2.5% today, which is fantastic progress. Now, let me show you something interesting. Bitcoin is up less than 1% today, still hanging out above $92,000. Yet, somehow, people are still convinced Bitcoin is going to crash below $70,000 by this weekend. Honestly, I'm not buying it. I think Bitcoin is gearing up for its final push higher, and when that happens, it's going to drag the entire market up with it. That, my friends, is how we get our long-awaited alt season. Check this out. The Fear and Greed Index is sitting at 15 today, down from 17 yesterday. Even with the market bouncing back, people are still absolutely terrified. And you know what? I just don't get it. Here's some free advice that could change your crypto game forever. On red days, you either do nothing or you buy the dip. You don't panic sell. When there's blood in the streets, that's when smart money moves in. Speaking of smart money, let's talk about something huge that's coming. Franklin Templeton's XRP ETF hasn't gone live yet, but this deserves serious attention. They've been dropping hints about XRP's massive potential. And guess what? They were pointing directly at XRP long before they announced their ETF decision. Jenny Johnson from Franklin Templeton, she's been ahead of the curve on this. She knew way back when that Bitcoin, while impressive, is actually the greatest distraction from the real disruption coming to financial services.
Bitcoin is the greatest distraction from the greatest disruption that is coming to financial services. I think AI is probably the other big disruption there, but and there's so much noise around a lot of things like FTX and others. But if you bring the technology down to its core value, it does three things. One is it allows a payment mechanism. Number two, it allows smart contracts to be programmed into the token. And three, because it's a general ledger, it has a source of truth. So whoever has that token, all rights in that token are granted to that person. So if I sell it to Frank, I don't have to go through a third party to do it. Frank gets it, and Frank gets all the rights. So my favorite example is Rihanna, who came out with, right before the Super Bowl, and I know she's just testing the market in this, 300 NFTs, each one worth 0.00033% royalties on one of her biggest songs. Well, why can she do that? She can do it because when Spotify plays a Rihanna song, it can capture, the smart contract executes and says, I owe royalties here. And so nobody has to be involved in it. And it can take the fractional payment and go to, because Frank's a big Rihanna fan, so it goes to his account, and he owns a couple of those. and he's paid, right? So now think about any way in which you have revenue streams or royalty streams that you can now start to fractionalize that or democratize that, and think about how that is an uncorrelated asset to all the traditional assets. So other examples is, I think that athletes are they'll sign a big contract, they'll say to their fans, I'm going to sell off, tokens worth 10% of my future revenue stream. I'm going to, 100,000 tokens, and boom, the fans are going to probably pay a premium for it. So it will be a way, and if you think about it, it's just securitization done on steroids. And it's merely that this technology is enabling it, and it's also enabling other very interesting companies that will disrupt some of the traditional business models that we have today.
She understood XRP's true purpose from day one. Beyond Bitcoin, it's all about utility. And let's be honest, Bitcoin doesn't have utility in the same way XRP does. That's exactly why I believe institutions are starting to look beyond Bitcoin too. Here are some mind-blowing numbers for you. Day 3 of Canary Capital's XRPC fund brought in an estimated 5 million XRP. But they actually acquired 4.4 million XRP to back the fund. They now have over 124.4 million XRP under management. Let me paint you a picture of what this could mean. If we see daily inflows of 5 million XRP across 12 different funds, that's 70 million XRP per day getting locked up. In just 1 week, that's 5 trading days, we're looking at 350 million XRP weekly being pulled out of circulation for these ETFs. The Franklin Templeton ETF was supposed to launch today, but it's now set for the 24th. Trust me, it's worth the wait. If you're new to crypto, or even if you've been around for a while and get frustrated on red days, listen to this wisdom.
Now, am I eligible for this? Because here comes the announcement. Last night, Monday, November 17th, if you want to look at what I did, here it is. I hope I'm not giving away nothing. I probably am, so I probably shouldn't show it. 638 bought $500,000 of XRP. 637 bought 400,000 of ETH. 637 bought 750,000 of BTC. 636 bought 500 more or a reverse of XRP. So in total, last night, $1 million of XRP, 400 ETH, 750 of BTC. Blood in the streets. Dave's like a piranha. Dave's like a great white. He's just shark on, fins. Oh, you know what? Let's do it. And we I know we can't clip it. We can't play music. So it's too bad. This will.
Wasn't that perfect? That's exactly what every crypto holder should be doing. When there's blood in the streets, you buy. When the market is screaming red, you either hold tight or add to your position. You sell on those massive green days when those beautiful green candles are shooting up to the moon. That's when you take profits, if you want to. Now here's a prediction that's got everyone talking. XRP could hit anywhere from $7 to $24 within the next 60 days. This analysis is directly tied to the ETF impact, and honestly, I'm right there with them on this one. Here's why I think the ETFs are going to be absolutely game-changing. Right now, people are saying the ETFs did nothing for XRP. But remember, the entire market was down when they launched. Plus, these over-the-counter sales are happening behind the scenes, quietly removing XRP from circulation and locking it up. The price impact might not be immediate, but that supply squeeze is real. And I don't think anyone's going to rush to sell these XRP ETFs anytime soon. And here's some breaking news that could change everything. The SEC has officially removed crypto from its 2026 priorities. This is huge, people. It's no longer considered a special risk area, which signals a massive shift in how regulators view our space. It looks like the SEC is finally backing down, and I believe we're going to see a lot more regulatory power shift to the CFTC, which has been much more crypto-friendly. This could be the regulatory clarity we've all been waiting for. What do you think about these developments? Are you as excited as I am about what's coming? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if this got you fired up, and don't forget to subscribe for more XRP insights. And let me tell you something. When we had Gary Gensler running the SEC, it felt like we were living through the absolute worst era in crypto history. You literally couldn't catch a break. Just when crypto looked like it was about to explode higher, bam! Another lawsuit announcement against yet another crypto company. I cannot tell you how relieved I am that those dark days are behind us. I'm genuinely excited about what lies ahead for us as XRP holders. Here's my little secret strategy during the Gensler reign of terror. Every single time he called something a security, I bought that cryptocurrency. Why? Because I knew in my heart they weren't securities. I knew that eventually they'd be deemed non-securities. It was just a matter of time and patience. Take LCX, for example. When Gensler called it a security, I couldn't believe it. We're talking about one of the most regulated exchanges in the world, and the cryptocurrency associated with LCX I think it's going to be part of the ISO standard as well. It was absolutely mind-boggling. Now, speaking of regulatory progress, it looks like we might not get that crucial market structure bill before Thanksgiving. But check this out.
Hey everyone, Brian Armstrong, Coinbase CEO here. I'm in the halls of Congress, back again, pushing for market structure legislation. We've seen a lot of progress since I was last here. We've now seen draft text shared by the Senate Ag Committee. Senate Banking is also working nights and weekends to get the next iteration of their text out. So we've got a good chance, I think, of a markup for this bill in December, and hopefully get it to the president's desk shortly thereafter. This would be a big milestone to get crypto unlocked with clear rules in the US, which would benefit all companies. But of course, Coinbase wants to be the top crypto company, so we're working hard on product in the meantime as well. And December 17th, we've got our product event, which you can tune on the live stream to see everything we've been building in the second half of this year. Thanks all of you for continuing to show up and contact your representatives and keep pushing for clear rules for crypto in the United States. We will keep doing our part here as well to try to make it happen. Thanks so much.
So there's still hope it could hit the president's desk before Christmas. I'm really hoping we see this happen before the year ends. But if not, I fully expect it to pass at the beginning of next year. And honestly, the sooner the better. Because this market structure bill is going to be absolutely huge for utility-driven cryptocurrencies like XRP. Now, let me share something that's going to blow your mind. This comes from a well-known figure in the XRP community called Time Traveler, and the numbers are absolutely staggering. 100 XRP will make a few people millionaires. 1,000 XRP will make all holders at least millionaires if XRP hits $1,000. At $2,000 plus per XRP, every single person who held XRP from 2012 to 2027 becomes a multi-millionaire. Think about that for a second. We're talking about life-changing wealth that doesn't need to go any higher for people's lives to be completely transformed. Here's what really gets me excited. If XRP hits anywhere from $100 to $500, which I believe is absolutely guaranteed, we'll have the opportunity to reinvest and restructure our entire lives. We're talking about living comfortably with wealth targets ranging all the way up to $1,000 to $73,000 per XRP. Now, I know some of those higher numbers sound crazy, but here's what I genuinely believe. XRP will hit $10,000 at some point in the future. It has to move massive amounts of value, and when tokenization really takes off, that's going to unlock incredible price movement for XRP. Of course, the skeptics immediately jump in and say, based on market cap and previous cycles, XRP will never break above $10. I think they're completely wrong, because they're missing the point entirely. It's all about utility. The big question everyone asks me is, when could it realistically hit $1,000? I've covered this extensively in multiple videos, and I still stand by my timeline. I believe we could see this happen by 2028. Now, could this happen sooner than 2028? Absolutely. But I think by that time frame, we'll start seeing the early signs of true mass adoption. And here's how I see it all unfolding. It all starts with proper regulations. Then comes institutional adoption. And those institutions, they're going to be the gateway that opens up mass adoption for everyone else. It's just a matter of time. And honestly, the timeline is looking pretty exciting. I'm actually basing this on David Schwartz's own timeline. He said 12 to 24 months for institutional adoption, and that was a while back. So realistically, we're probably looking at institutional adoption being just over a year away at this point. Mass adoption? Most likely 2 years after that. This puts us right in that sweet spot between 2027 and 2028. Let's see if it all plays out exactly like we're expecting. I've talked about XRP potentially becoming a Tier 1 asset in several videos, and I want you to hear this incredible insight from Black Swan Capitalist.
I think by the time we see the next real crisis, though, the IMF and the central banks of the world and the BIS are already kind of telegraphing that gold is going to be part of a new system. Whatever that system is, however disorderly or orderly it is, it's probably in the form of a central bank digital currency of some form. The IMF literally has a graph of it on their Bretton Woods 2.0 page on their website, and at the base of that graph is physical gold. Because even for something as awful as central bank digital currency to have any validity, they know now in this new crisis to come, which they helped create and they blamed on COVID, they know now for that central bank digital currency beast to have any credibility as an efficient settlement policy, it has to be backed by a hard asset. And they put gold as the hard asset there. And that's why the BS and everyone else, BIS, is making gold a tier 1 asset. They're programming us serfs for the moment when centralized currencies are coming in, and they're going to back that in some coverage ratio with physical gold. I'm quite convinced of that.
He's talking about currencies being backed by gold and central bank digital currencies. And I couldn't agree more. I've been saying this exact same thing since 2022. But here's the beautiful part that people miss. Even if currencies get backed by gold, remember that XRP is still built to move that currency. This is why I've always said XRP doesn't need to be backed by gold directly, because it's going to be moving the value of gold within every single transaction. We are definitely going back to a gold-backed system. That's exactly why central banks have been aggressively loading up on gold for the past couple of years, and they're continuing to do it right now as we speak. So let me ask you this mind-blowing question. If XRP was suddenly announced as a tier 1 asset like gold, what do you think would happen to the price overnight? If they made that announcement and XRP became that tier 1 asset, in my opinion, we're going to 4 digits incredibly fast. And here's something that could make this even more exciting. There's a real possibility that the Bank for International Settlements could make exactly that kind of announcement at some point. This could go hand in hand with XRP being utilized by the IMF as a special drawing right. Imagine the implications of that. But remember what I said at the beginning of this video. It's still too early to declare that the bottom is officially in. I want to see where we are over the next 24 to 48 hours. That's going to give us a much better understanding of where XRP goes from here. But here's what I know for certain. That breakout we've all been waiting for, it's absolutely coming, and when it hits, it's going to be spectacular. What are your thoughts on XRP becoming a tier 1 asset? Do you think we'll see 1,000 XRP by 2028? Could it happen even sooner? Let me know in the comments below. Smash that like button if this analysis got you as excited as I am. And don't forget to subscribe for more game-changing XRP insights. Until next time, keep hodling strong, XRP family.